Ryan Duncan is a top 1% Skool community builder who's ghost operated for 7 different Skool Games winners. He's also the first person to reach level 9 in the Skool community. In this video, I talk with Ryan about why he lost his fire emoji after a year of activity.
Went from this whole anxiety state, oh my God, it's midnight, did I fix it?
How to create an offer that naturally leads to a 30% price increase without any sales pressure.
You go from $50 a month to $1,500 a month. It's very seamless because they go from 0 to 1, 1 to 2, 2 to 3.
And why stepping back from your community might be the most important thing you can do for its growth.
You find yourself pinning comments that aren't your own. I think that's when you know that you have real community.
Ryan, excited to talk to you, man.
Yeah, looking forward to this one.
So you are pretty famous for being the engagement king on Skool. You were just going harder than anybody else in terms of engagement, reaching number 1 on the leaderboard. Let's talk about that to start. What was that time like when you were first getting into Skool and really pushing hard in the engagement?
When I first started on Skool, I hadn't really noticed this engagement thing yet. And I don't think anyone really on the platform had. There's a few people that had a lot of points, but they'd been there for a year, 2 years that had accrued maybe 4,000 points, 5,000 points. And it definitely wasn't a sole focus at the start when I first joined Skool. But when I saw that no one was level 9, I was well, someone has to be level 9 at some point in the future. So I decided just spur of the moment, I was sitting on a train, I think. It's I'm just gonna engage and help people out with this. I'm just gonna live in this community. It was if I don't do anything else but this, maybe that will be how I get success. That might be how I make money. It might be something. There might be something here. And I just started. I think I remember the day it was 163 activities, and I got 20 points in a day. I was sweet. That's good. That works. So I just continued doing that day in, day out. And I think the crazy part is I wasn't some genius about Skool. It's just I seemed to be the only person who knew how to use the search bar, because someone would ask a question and then I would just search the question, which they should have done anyway. So I'd search the question, then I'd just synthesize the response and put it back into the comments. They're oh my God, thank you so much. And I was just just use the search bar next time you have a question. And so I just spent my day doing this. And what I was doing was every time a question popped up and it hadn't been answered, well, it was on Skool, and Skool should have those features for that thing, or they don't have the features. So I'd scan people's comments. I just learned everything I possibly could. And when I got to a point where it was I no longer needed to use the search bar. So I just started creating my own content, basically doing that, getting more points, getting more points, getting more points. And I think, when someone takes charge and kind of claims I'm going to be the first person to get there, other people show up and try to do the same as well. And so it just became this honestly a fuck fest of points and gamifying the experience and everything. So yeah, that's kind of how I started on the whole points thing, got to level 9. But I don't really see that as a status symbol anymore, just because it's it's not really. It was beneficial for its time when it was a thing, but now it doesn't make much sense to do that. I would say it kind of goes against what you want someone to do in your community in a way. You want top performers, you want top people that can engage and help things go, but you want to help members with their problem, not get points for yourself. That's against building community. We're in it together as a team rather than just one person. And so it's very single focused. I was there only can be one person that gets there. I'm glad I did it, but at the end of the day, I'm I don't really care about it anymore.
How important was it for you in terms of your business, in terms of getting a reputation and kind of getting the ball rolling for you?
It was probably the biggest thing, which is funny to say, on the back of I don't really want to be that person that does that anymore. But I mean, if you went onto Skool, you saw me. So I was literally everywhere. As soon as you signed up to Skool, it was who's this Ryan Duncan guy? And people mention that as well, in sales. I see you everywhere. I see you commenting on everyone's posts, and you're on everything, and you're never offline. I'm no, I'm not. I'm always here. doing it.
Mm,
And I think that played into my advantage a lot because, yeah, people knew who I was, especially when I launched retention, like the
mm,
community retention and helping people with retention. I was like, I've spent more time on this platform than anyone else at this point. I can
mm,
help you with your community. And like, here is my proof of like how active I am and how much I've
right.
shared and everything that I've done. So, getting to level 9, you can't do that without probably hitting a few different criteria. You have to be educated. You have to understand what you're doing. Eventually, you probably start to make posts and share content where, you make one post and you can get 80 to 100 likes on a post versus like one comment might get 7 or 8. So you have to play the game in that scenario, but it just, I wouldn't have got there if what I shared wasn't valuable or people wanted to actually interact with at the same time. So I just think I did all the right things to get myself to the point where it went from just points to actually earning money. Because that was my one issue I had with it was I don't want to be level 9, but not
Mm,
also succeeding in a monetary value.
yeah,
Yeah.
of course. So, like, for people who are just, like, getting started on the platform, what do you think has changed? Like, why wouldn't you suggest that for somebody? Because it seems like it was a good educational, like, a good way for you to learn about the platform and stuff as well.
It just shouldn't be a focus, to be honest. If you want to
Mm,
help people, sure, but like grinding for points, like there's so many other things that you could focus on. You could get to like it depends on what your goal is. If your goal is to be the most engaged, active user on the platform, and you don't have like anything else that you want to do in your life, then sure, go for it. Like that. But people are joining Skool to build, you know, ideally profitable communities. I think I sit in that. I feel like there's more groups of people now on the platform. When I
mm,
started, it was just everyone wants to make money on the platform. Now there's people that start communities purely out of interest and hobby based things and aren't charging money for it. So
mm.
I think I sit more in like the how do I take this thing and make more money with it section of Skool. I see it kind of dividing. Maybe we can talk about that a little bit later. Um, but I just don't think it makes sense to do that. There are like other things that you could focus on, such as what your offer is and your own community. There is there is enough educated people now
Oh,
about
okay.
Skool that can help other people out.
Mm,
Um, it's like share the love. It's instead of being the only person that answers all the time, like, there's just guru model basically.
right.
Now I like will read a post and like not even comment anything on it. I've seen it, I like it, but I don't I don't feel the need to like engage in every single conversation anymore and be front and center. Maybe that was just um like an ego thing or something, but like it does feel good to like be first comment and get heaps of likes and all of that stuff. But I think you want to be known for like building something like more than that and building something like bigger rather than how many posts you can comment on. Sure, I helped a lot of people. I got a lot of like good rapport and people made posts about me doing it and everything. But there's just like more things that I think you should focus your time on.
Mm. What are some of the big things that you're focusing your time on right now?
Just like real growth with communities, low churn, and just building the best experience possible for other people. And
Mm,
like actually building a community. I spend maybe like an hour a day in my own communities now
mhm,
because my members answer a lot of the questions for me, which is awesome. Like, I love that because, first of all, I don't have to answer it. Second, that's like proof that it's a community that's working because members are helping out. Like, I think there's so much value in literally being able to say to yourself, I can pin this comment because it's as good, if not better, than what I would have put there in the first place. Do
mm,
you find yourself pinning comments that aren't your own? I think that's like when you know that you have real community, especially when it's from one member to another member. You're like at the end of the day, you're facilitating the conversation. I think that's what a
mm,
lot of people need to move themselves to that struggle with how to spend less time in their community. Coming from the
right.
person that spent more time than anyone on Skool to I don't even have my fire emoji at the moment.
I noticed
I've
that, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, just took a day off. I think I got nine activities. I was just like, I woke up and I just was like, awesome. I was like, it literally changed nothing. I think one person messaged me as well. I was
That's
like,
so good.
it went from this whole like anxiety state, like, oh my God, it's midnight. Did I fix it? And I check, it'd be like
Mhm.
200 activities. Be like, oh, yeah, that's right. I had like a little window where I went hard on school to, I just like, I don't care about that anymore. I just want like seeing people connect with each other. Like that's the whole point of building community, you know?
I noticed that. I was looking at your profile this morning and I saw what happened on July 12th, where you got 9 activities. Because for people who don't know, you have like a full green bar, right?
Hmm.
You would have had, all green for a year. A lot of people, celebrate that. It's
Yeah.
a big thing, and you just lost it by 1 point.
Yeah, I know. I didn't I just wasn't on. I wasn't on that day. I just
I
like
love
actually
it.
like take like more time off, like rest and think and
Mm,
do other things with my time than just like worrying about my activity. Like I haven't even thought about it. I know I've got perfect green since that. And I thought about it. I was like, maybe I'll just do it again. Like
mm,
it's not hard to get
mm,
30 days. It wasn't even that hard to get a year. I think it was like 1 or 2 days where I was like, "Ooh, quick." Like I need to do that. Um and like honestly, I'll probably do a whole year again just on the basis of not even thinking about it. But
mhm.
the other side of me as well wants to wake up on a weekend and not look at it at all. Like
Yeah.
I really like what Sam does. Like Sam is
Mm,
like a clear example of I think what your map should look like. Yes, being active and checking in with your community and stuff, that's good. And having the fire emoji is good as well. But for just like to have a fire emoji, I don't think it makes like much sense anymore
mm.
either. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel that. I get it because I'm on the platform a lot, but I'm not
Mm.
really checking how many activities I'm doing or keeping
Yeah.
track of it.
Yeah, I think between like what I was talking about between like the groups of people, um, I think like a real show of doing something good is to some degree the star emoji, like
Mm,
engagement in your community. That's difficult to do. From what I've seen, it's heavily weighted towards traffic to your community and then the engagement inside of your community to kind of help it stay there. So you bring
mm,
people in, you need them to engage. You have to have like certain metrics. And then like the rocket emoji, crown emoji, diamond emoji, um, I think those are good as well. To me, that's like more of a telltale sign of like you're a successful community builder rather
mm,
than like the fire emoji is a personal thing. The
mhm,
star and the rocket is a community thing. Um,
right.
I just now focus my time on those emojis instead.
Mm. I wanna talk a little bit about facilitating conversations. That's something that you just said that I think is kind of important, like, rather than being the person who shows up and is just trying to, um, you know, get that status, like, being a leader in a community is really about helping other people, connecting people. Maybe we can talk about that, like, how do you facilitate, conversations within your own community? How do you build culture?
I think in terms of building the culture, especially for ghost operators, I just like a thing that I've been testing that seems to be working quite well because I just hit 4% conversion rate on my paid group. Um, from like usually where most of my traffic comes, my YouTube bio says become a ghost operator. My YouTube first comments is like land your first creator in 90 days. And then when you hit my about page, it says become a ghost operator again. And then in my pricing, it says become a ghost operator. So
Mhm,
like I'm like trying to get people to buy into the identity of being that person. And then when they join the community, it reiterates it again and again and
mm,
again. And then when I'm on calls, I tell people like I appreciate it. I think pinning people's comments is good and giving them validation that it was a good comment too helps a lot. Because I've done that a few times, and then you see people do it again and again and again.
right.
Um, so, I feel like a lot of this was kind of like what I went through when I first started on Skool. The biggest impact that being active had with me was the connections and the people I met along the way,
Mhm,
rather than like what I actually got from it. In terms of like the that kind of like status, like the I learned a lot from like how Sam ran the community, and like I've seen him go through like different phases of the community to like where it's at today, which I think is like, I think School is probably like the nicest it's been
Mm.
at the stage that it's at, because, and you can see like how quickly culture can change based on the validation of someone doing good work.
Mm.
How many big long posts have you seen in the community since everyone said that since Sam said that Nick had the best post on School,
Right.
right? It's instant because people want the same thing.
Mm.
They took Nick, who is the current GOAT of the platform, who has more status than anyone, and they gave him just that little bit more status that completely changed the whole culture of the platform. Because Nick could have just focused on making money and doing everything as well, but he took the time to make a post in the community. And then Sam and everyone mentioned that post so many times. And
Mm.
then you see these bigger posts of people get put up. Like Miles did one, which was really, really good. Who comments on it? Alex or Mosey. So they're
Mm.
like, as a team, as like the leadership group of the community are saying, we like this. So of course you see way more of that moving forward. So you just do the same in your own group. If you want to foster good culture, lead by example, and do that, pin those comments and say, hey, thank you so much for this. I couldn't have said it better myself. I think it's about like giving credit where credit is due, and like accepting that it's just like it's a better comment. It answers that problem better than you can.
Mm.
Because you're not the best in the room. At the end of the day, sure, you have the brand and the idea and the experience, and you to some level are the educator, but everyone has their own skills. Someone's going to be better at you know, designing a graphic over, writing written word, or copywriting, filmmaking, whatever it is. So give credit where credit is due and publicly show people good validation. I think that that's what builds a great space for facilitation. And if you wanted a very simple way to build context between members, you do what's called context posts, which I usually do through a game. And that game, I've mentioned it a few times, it doesn't have to be this game. It's just a good example. If I say a superpower, which is I can fly, you give me
Oh,
something that
right.
happens when I fly, right? Like you say something bad, and you say this to members and you don't respond. You say, someone comment this, and if you read it, comment something that happens underneath. All that's doing is just connecting two people to have a conversation through
Mhm.
like guided rules that when that person comments or posts elsewhere, the likelihood of those two members that connected in that game will do that as well. It's kind of like putting people through a challenge together. They're more
Right.
connected. Yeah.
Right. I really love that. That's interesting to me. I'm part of this thing in Montreal called Authentic Montreal. It's a lot of like guided ways of helping people communicate
Mhm.
through games, through like structured rules of engagement, basically,
Yeah.
in order to bring out authenticity and stuff. And it sounds very similar to that. It's like giving people permission to talk to each other, almost,
Mhm.
like giving them a reason to.
Mm.
Uh,
There's so many unique ways to do it. I did this in one of Evelyn's one, but if you're watching this podcast right now, then comment the word lemon in the comments below.
mm,
Right. And so if anyone that doesn't get to this point will not understand what that is. But for all the
right.
people that are here that do go and comment lemon now under wherever we post this podcast, we know what it is and they know what it is and they know why they're doing it. So people, you'll probably see it as well. Why is everyone commenting lemon? It's
Yeah.
like, don't skim the podcast, like go and watch it. So like just by doing that, we can interact with people who are watching in Skoolers. We can interact with people there because we know like where this type of content and format will be placed, right? So you can interact with people, and especially online, you can do it in so many different ways. You can connect with heaps of people. You just got to kind of think outside the box and how can I do that? And I learned that from the CEO of Anime Shreds with Nate Belmar.
Okay.
He did that in his Loom videos and said, I think it was like blue guitar. He'd say it at like the 6th minute just to see if his team were watching the Loom videos that they had.
Nice.
I'd say I just did it in a podcast and got people to do it, and then I did it in my community to see if people were watching it and interacting. So
Mm.
it's there's so many different ways that you can do it, but I think public validation of things that you like through pinning comments, pinning posts, mentioning it in group calls, mentioning it in your mastermind events, People want, at the end of the day, they want that status. They want to be pinned, you know.
Mm.
And what Skool did with that was they just set the bar higher, which
Yeah.
levels everyone up at the same time.
Yeah. I love that. I want to go back, I think, to the identity piece. Like you're wearing a school hat, I'm wearing a school shirt. There's like obviously, I think a really strong identity that happens for a lot of people who are on the platform. So let's talk a little bit more about identity. Like, how do is it about brand? Is it about name? Is it about a logo? Like, how do you get people an identity? Because I know right now you're working on branding and a logo and things like that with ghost operators. So what do you think about that?
I'd say identity comes down to who someone says that they are when you first meet them,
Mm,
because it's like that's the first part of what it is. That, like, to some degree, I'd say that it's like branding, right? I had a guy in my community for quite some time. He goes by the name Citizen Co, and he talked about how we as humans like brand each other almost like cattle in a way.
mm,
Like, we put a logo on ourselves. We are
yeah,
we are walking products to some degree. And so when someone asks you, like, I just met someone like earlier today at the restaurant, oh, what do you do?
mm,
Whatever comes to mind, I help people do this, or I'm a ghost operator. Oh, what's that? You know, it's like that's you're shaping your identity based on who you believe that you want to become. And you can take that in so many different ways. Like, us being schoolers was a thing that derived, I think, from people in the community and around it. But then Skool went and said, "Schoolers, this is what you
yeah,
are." So it's like, well, that's what we call ourselves now. Like, now we're a group of people that all belong to a name.
mm,
Because before we were just community builders or community owners in the school community and in the
yeah,
school games community. But now you can say all of that in one go. I'm a schooler.
yeah,
But when you say I'm a schooler, it's like, oh, like, what do you do on the school platform? Well, I teach this. So then the identity shifts to going, I teach people how to look after their goats better. I'm a goat herder
mm,
on a platform called Skool. When you say that, that person probably identify more with being a goat herder than being a schooler, because that's like what they are inherently. Like, that's who they are as a person. So I think when it comes down to, giving someone that identity, I use like I don't even know if this is like a thing, but like identity based CTAs.
hmm,
Like, become a ghost operator.
right,
Click this link.
right.
Become that person.
Become. I like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you don't go to university to do anything but become someone,
Right.
right? So I'm going to university, I'm going to school to become a lawyer. Okay, now
Mm,
you are a lawyer. You go there, you get educated, you leave with becoming that. So why would we do, like, so many people are just programmed to do that. You start a job, you become someone. You're a
right.
bartender, you are a waitress, you are a this. And so I would say that the identity is based on what you do with your day to day.
Mm,
And I think especially in our space, more of like the make money online and things, people want to become like a digital nomad. I mean, I don't even identify as a digital nomad because I'm not, for me, a digital nomad's like traveling a lot more than I do.
mm,
I'd say like I'm an entrepreneur who lives in Thailand, but at the end of the day, like, I just live in Thailand and I build online communities. Like, I don't identify with this digital nomad thing that
mhm.
maybe people put onto me. Um, and now that I think about it, I don't even really say that I'm a ghost operator. Like, I still say that I build and help. I help other people build communities online. Is like what I usually lean with, because ghost operator is like that, but it's just extra words that you have to explain to someone at the same time. So
Mm.
yeah, I hope that's right. I haven't really thought about it too much. I just like, I want more people to resonate with ghost operating over the other terms that other people have used.
Yeah. I think that's cool. I mean, it's, the word become, I think, is really important, and it speaks to the transformation too. Like,
Mm.
I know that sometimes there's some debate about when you're building a community, do you really need a transformation? Can people just hang out? But what we're talking about with identity here seems to really connect with that transformation piece. It's like you were something when you started, and then
Mm.
now that you're part of this thing, you're on the road to becoming something different.
Mhm.
something with status, something with money, something with whatever those things are that people are looking for in life, something with peace.
Mm. I think you give them an identity and then you give them like the first piece and like what it takes to become that. And this is like what I was saying to you before we started around the upsell
Mm,
of how all of that works. So for my offer, I it's land your first creator partner in 90 days. So I take people from zero who are not ghost operators. And the first thing to really, I would say, call yourself a ghost operator is to land your first client.
yeah.
And so that is a path that people have to walk along. I think this is what a lot of people struggle with when they're coming up and trying to create their offer is they help so many people at so many different points. I think niching down really just means what's the 0 to 1 that you can give someone? Where do you sit in the market
Mm,
with what you do? And what does it look like from qualification? I don't think many people consider their qualified lead. And so how this all kind of works together with an upsell, especially for me, is 0 to 1 is land your first client. After they've done that, they've completed the first journey, the first path, the first transformation, if you call it that.
mhm.
After there's a world of fucking shit that you need to do and learn and put together. And so as soon as someone lands their first client, they've completed transformation number 1. That's when you sell them the next thing.
Yeah.
They become qualified for the next thing. So then I sell them on one-on-one coaching for 3 months. My first offer is a 3-month offer, and then I sell them on another 3-month offer, but it's 2 years lifetime value of my membership. So
Mm,
they go from $50 a month to $1,500 a month. And
mm,
the best time to say, if you want to move to this spot with me, then you can do that. And I have that conversation. It's very seamless because they go from 0 to 1, 1 to 2, 2 to 3.
yeah.
So after
Mm,
at the end of the 3 months, if I was just like, you're gonna need this thing now, do you want, specialized help in the ads account, for instance? I'll help you with that. And so if someone's qualified, if you work with business owners that are already doing $5,000 a month, um, you can do that, but you could also help people go from 0 to 5,000 because as
mhm.
soon as they hit 5,000, you've already got a whole business that's dedicated to helping people from 5,000 upwards,
Right.
right? But 5,000 to what? It's like get specific on like how you help people and where you get them to. Take
Mhm.
them from one spot, get them to the next spot from there.
Mm.
And that kind of helps that whole process.
I think that that makes a lot of sense that especially framing it in terms of like 0 to 1, 1 to 2, like make it very, very clear. And I know that that's one of the biggest struggles that a lot of people have when they're trying to build their first online business, for example. It's like, what is that 0 to 1 that I can help people with? Because they want to do the 0 to 100 or 0
Mm.
to 1,000. So, how do you figure out what those individual steps are? Because what you just said about the 0 to $5,000 client or whatever it is, that transformation could go in many different ways, as you said. So it branches, you know?
Mhm.
So how do you figure out what those clear steps are? Do you just start with the 0 to 1 and then kind of figure it out from there? Or do you roadmap the whole thing from the start?
Um, I think if you were to, like boil it down to, um, say building your community, and if you wanted to do it with community, because I don't want to like do overall business, but community specifically, you need you need to make it specific for the person that you help. At what point, like taking someone from like 0 to $100,000 is just like it's a huge thing. Sure,
Mm,
people can do it, but like I think it doesn't make like a lot of sense to a lot of people. So I think you have to really sit down and look at where do people need to be in order for them to achieve the result that I say I can get them. Like, what would be the best situation? It's like I'm so good at helping people that make $15,000 a month and scale to 30. It's just like
mm,
I've done it time and time and time and time and time again. So I help those people. Start there,
mm,
right? Don't worry about the before. Don't worry about the after. Just focus on the thing that you're good at and just do that
mm,
and just make it specific. Hormozy never really did the workshops. I mean, he focused on gyms. He didn't do business as a whole thing. He just did
mm,
gyms and he got really good at the gym thing. And then he did, acquisition.com, where he only worked with really big businesses. And you can kind of see it. He's like kind of moved his business down like step by step. He started at the top where he worked with these big portfolio companies and gave free content. And then he started to help businesses that were doing 3 to 5 million and scale those ones up further. And then now he helps businesses that are doing $250,000 with a $5,000 a month workshop. And then guess what? He has Skool. So for $9 a month, you can start your first business, because there might be one or two people that go from there that take the next step, right, as he goes through.
Right.
And it services like 80% of his audience, I think he mentioned, right? But he's been doing it for 10 years. And I don't think he thought of doing that straight away, because he had to build the audience first. He had to be like, had the data to make a decision, had to see what would happen at different stages. So for the person that has it, it's just like, just get clear on your offer and think about each transformational path that someone has to go through first. I think that's the biggest thing is really just going, well, if I work with people at 5K, what do they have to do to get there first? You know, is it I make 5K a month, but they sell one high ticket client? Like think about who you want to work with, like specifically. I think that helps a lot.
I want to shift the conversation a bit and talk about fun communities, because you were also like one of the first people, I think, who was really like known for building a community that was totally like different and not, not money focused, not even really hobby focused. It was just like pure fun. So let's talk about that. Like, why did you make GIF?
I made GIF to kind of make fun of community building. Like, it was, the whole idea of it was to be the backwards version of the Skool community. That's kind of why I did it. I was like, I think it was that point of like, where you just overthink everything. I was just like, I had that like, fuck it moment. It's just like, whatever. Like, I'll just make a community about something. I don't care what it is. I was just like, let's make it about a feature on Skools and call it GIF. Am I a passionate person about GIFs? No. Do I do GIFs as a hobby? No. I don't even know how to upload to Giphy. Like, I have no idea how to do any of that stuff. I've not even really made a GIF myself before, and I have a community for it. Has no purpose. All of the leaderboard names in the community are the old school community leaderboard names that they had before they got them removed in there. And that's why my username is noob, because that was what you were on Skool community. You were a noob if you were level 1.
Right.
And that's why my username is noob. But yeah, I just made this community because community building was too serious. The whole platform was like, fuck, it's so serious in here. And that's like, at that point when I made that, it's like when Jade was more funny, Goose was funnier, I posted more funny stuff. Like, there was that unserious culture kind of was bred from that point in time. I wouldn't say it was me specifically. It was just a point in time where it shifted. And I think that's why I made the community. Now that I think about it, like, more, it was just such a serious time on the platform. It was like, this is value. I'm just like, fuck, who cares? Like, it's not that deep, you know? And that's why I charged $1 a month. It economically, it makes no sense.
Yeah, I was gonna say you spent $99 a month. I guess you're still doing that for this ridiculous thing.
Yeah, I don't even think it's profitable anymore, especially like with affiliates too. Because I get like, I think after affiliates, I get like 20 cent or like less. Because it's like an affiliate, I get 50 cents and then 2.9% transaction fee and then a 30 cent like fee per person.
Right.
So every person that joined GIF, I get like 67 cents basically after fees. And so yeah, I get 17 cents per affiliated member. And those are like, more and more people are affiliating into the community. So it's just like, it's not profitable.
But it like, I would argue that it is profitable in a way. It's not profitable in terms of like,
it's not directly profitable, but it's definitely done. That community has done me wonders. It's helped a lot with a lot of like sales calls and stuff.
Yeah. And so I want to talk a bit about that, because I think sometimes people don't appreciate community and business in general, I think it's relationships, right? So
Mm,
if you're just trying to sell all the time, you might not be giving the best impression. But if you do things like GIF and you're building real community and real opportunity for people to express themselves, to have fun, then those can lead to genuine business opportunities later on.
mhm. Yeah, 100%. Totally agree.
Do you have any I don't know, any advice for somebody who's starting their community? Maybe somebody who's like looking to get into business but doesn't really know what to start and maybe would be better off building a fun community to kind of test the waters?
I think the $9 plan makes an interest-based community, like, way more sense.
Hmm,
Like, 99 doesn't make sense, I think, for, like, hobby interests. Like, you're
yeah.
really not missing out on much if that's your purpose and goal. Like, I just started a chess community,
Hmm,
because I want to work on my chess. I wanna connect with people that play chess. There are people that play chess on Skool. Um, so I built a community. I was $9 a month to have more fun with it, right? To, like, actually do things with it. For someone that's getting started out, I think it is really interesting that Skool's whole mission is like monetize your well, it's not the whole mission, but like it's like monetize your passion. And then Hormozy's like, don't do that.
mm,
Yeah, like he spoke about it in like one of his like recent clips was
yeah, I noticed
he
that.
doesn't agree with it at all. Um and I feel like to some degree I would agree with it a little bit because it's true. Like, don't try and make a business out of the thing that you're like passionate about.
Mm,
So if you wanted, which makes it difficult, right? Because that was the issue that Skool kind of had. A lot of people joined Skool who were passionate about specific interests that became like they help other people with their school. I joined for
mm,
the sole purpose of like making a shit ton of money out of building communities. Like this is
mm,
why I was here. I was just like, I want to do this. I've been great at networking. I like this. It's a new platform. I will learn this. There will be something in here that I can bring to the table. Like I didn't join being like, oh, I'm interested. Like if I joined and I'm interested, it would have been like ice hockey. I would have started an ice
mm,
hockey community or something. It wouldn't have been like the gift thing or
right.
um my other communities at all. So I properly joined for the purpose of doing community. Um and I am passionate about it, but there are definitely days where I'm just like, fuck this,
Yeah.
you know?
Mm,
So I don't think I would join, I would create a community on the basis of I need to make money out of this. I would create a community. And then if you are starting in like online business, I'd focus more on like a skill set of like helping someone else first rather than
mm,
whatever. It's kind of I honestly I'm a bit conflicted by like where I would want to point people
mm,
because of like I don't want people to like lose their passion in the thing that they have. I
mm,
think that that's like a I don't think anyone's really said that, but it's just like start a community about what you're passionate about, but like don't fucking turn it into a business.
yeah.
So yeah, start a community. I think that that's beneficial. But then my next question is, what do people do after they've started that community? They've come to Skool. But then again, you don't have to be in business to have a community. So,
This is actually one of my favorite types of conversations around passion. It feels like it's a big tension where there's, on the one hand, you get the advice of follow your passion, and on the other hand, you say, well, passion's not necessarily going to work. And as somebody who is like a musician most of my life, expecting that I would be able to make that into my career, it was a pretty hard lesson to realize, like, it's actually pretty hard to like succeed doing what you love. It's not.
mm,
Just because you love it doesn't necessarily mean it's gonna work out. And you're right. I think that when you mentioned that, a lot of people, especially maybe a year ago who were starting on Skool, maybe they wanted to follow their passion, and then at the $99 level, it's like, "Well, shit, I gotta make this a business." And that kinda conflict between the 2. So, the $9 thing definitely makes it, I think, possible to follow your passion and not have that kind of financial pressure, um, to do it. But there will be people uh, who succeed at their passion. I think they just have to be really, really good at what they're passionate about, and they need
mm,
to be able to give people that identity and that status and that transformation.
mm.
Hmm.
Yeah. There's definitely, I feel like it's probably like a rabbit hole conversation, to be honest, to really
Mm.
decide. Like at the end of the day, it's someone else's decision and it's not ours to make.
Mm.
It's just like, do what you want, bro. Like at the end of the day, like whether or not you're passionate about it, doing nothing about it is not going to get you anywhere. So you
That's
might
true.
as well do something about it. You know,
That's true.
I'm sure people are passionate about what a shit ton of money would get them and the life that they would live and things, you know, get them
Yeah.
back to. Like, I mean, I live in Thailand, so I'm not exactly ice skating every day, but if I could be ice skating every day or lived in a place where I was ice skating, I'd be like stupidly happy. Like, I love ice skating, playing ice hockey, the whole lot.
Mm.
That's passionate. I wouldn't even bother trying to make that into a business
Mm.
because I just have no desire to do that, you know? So it's like at the end of the day, everyone has to work, everyone has to make money. It's like, why not do it online with a community with heaps
Yeah.
of people that you love and you can make friends with?
Yeah.
Like, you know, build a community about a skill that you've learned is
Yeah.
probably my advice. It's like learn skill, get good at skill, make money from skill, teach other people how to build skill.
Yeah.
Awesome. You now have a business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And I think that like as you like this is something that I ended up doing. I didn't come onto school to do video editing, but it's something that I had a skill in and eventually
Mm.
I'm like, well, I guess this is my business because that's the skill that I have. And you learn that like once you kind of start I think building a business and you get that kind of there's some creativity around being a business owner that even if it's not your immediate passion, you can start to really love that skill because it's giving you the opportunity to you know have that freedom to travel or to you know set your own schedule these kinds of
Mm.
things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like that's probably what I would have done if I hadn't done the the whole like community side of things and like I like basically learn a whole new skill to
Mm.
what I am today. I wouldn't have known anything about retention. Why? Because I was a video editor.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Maybe like video retention to some degree played into
Mm.
it, but other than that, I still think that's probably one of like the best ways to make money on Skool if you don't really have an audience and you don't have a niche, but you have a good skill, such as like graphic design, video editing. Like
Mm.
people need content. You know, people need video editors. The AI stuff's like just not there yet. Still, I
Yeah.
think with the whole video editing thing, people need their content edited or graphic designers or these like skills that kind of aid the online business a lot more. There's like a lot of money I think to be made, you know, from like an agency point of view on that. But
Yeah.
yeah, video editing's fun.
Is there anything that you're really excited about in terms of the platform, in terms of the way that this whole community building phenomenon is moving?
Um, I think I'm pretty keen for freemium, to be honest. I'm
Mm.
keen to see like what that looks like. I don't think I personally will do it just because of how I'm like structurally set up at the moment with my communities. Um, and I feel like there's some features that need to be added, which I have zero idea about at all. So this is like completely a guess of mine, but I think with the freemium model, we need some way of like a segregated conversation tab in
Mm.
there, like a category that only those people can access or something, which I don't think is like too difficult for the team to do, but I think it makes a lot of sense for the freemium because it's like the paid members get the exact same written experience, except they get extra calls,
Mm.
whereas we need people to ask, you know, questions in posts. It kind of defeats it. That's why we have the second community. I think that's like the biggest reason why a lot of people create a second community is, well, how do I just segregate the conversation that people are having
Mm.
in written word, not just calls?
Right.
So if Skool kind of releases that ability to happen, where only paid people can talk in this category, or it was like a different, you know, just add a new tab, which is exactly the exact same, but you know, because you can lock the calls on the calendar, you can lock the classrooms
Right.
by paid things, but maybe they just have two different community tabs where it's like paid community, free community, or something,
Right.
um, or a category. I understand their reasons. Sometimes it's like actually good to have paid members ask paid questions in free community, because
Yeah.
then it like people want that level of response. But there has to be some way that they can segregate it, or members are tagged differently or something. I see a few issues kind of popping up where the community owner doesn't understand why, like who is who at, when you have like a bigger community,
Mm,
because free groups get so many more people. I have
yeah.
6,000 people in my free group. I do not know them all by name,
Yeah.
you know? And like, honestly, I have people that help me run it. So I don't even know who the 200 people that joined today are. I haven't even seen them or looked at them or connected with them. My order DM's been sent out. That's about it. So I think freemium is cool because people can, again, what's the path? Join for free. That's a 0 to 1 situation. So then what's your 1 to 2? So for me, for instance, it's like, I would say like a freemium model, you probably see that being a bit more broad with it. Like how my free group is set up at the moment, I think probably works quite well, where it's like helping people um, become or like build like communities online. It's just like this, free community, but it is Ghost Operators free. So your free community is just like helping people for free and giving them free assets, but you're just creating awareness around, again, the identity that people want to become. And
Mm,
then I take them on 0 to 1, which is what the paid community is for. And then one-on-one or more group coaching or whatever it is that you want to do from there. So I'd say freemium I'm pretty keen for. I saw Apple Pay is coming now as well.
mhm.
Well, it's already kind of here. Like I said, my conversion rate has doubled in the last couple of bits, so maybe they've already launched Apple Pay and it's like already working. Um, and then the live streaming, I'm super keen for that.
Mm,
Yeah,
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 that'd be a fun one.
I'm keen to delete Zoom, and I'm hoping it'd be awesome if Skool just like, hey, which classroom do you want to upload this piece of content to? Like, how good would that be? It was
Mm,
just like, as soon as we've done processing and putting it together, it puts it as a new page in a classroom as like, and with the date and time of the call
yeah.
recording and a templated, that'd be perfect.
Yeah, there's so much possibility with the transcripts and everything too that they could do with this. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
gonna be
Imagine it
cake.
was all automated. You just showed up for a fucking call. Just like, sup, bro, what's going on? And then when you finish, you didn't have to worry about making a post, doing anything about it, uploading a Zoom. Just like, no one wants to do that after they've done a call.
Yeah.
Unless it's like your whole thing, after the podcast, you got to download the clip, you got to put it in here, then you got to edit it, you got to run it
Mm,
up, blah, blah, blah. It's just like, my call is at this time. I'm going to be there. And then it automatically uploads everything to the classroom after.
cool. See you around.
See you, bro.